All right. Steve, have you heard? Um,
No.
Riot Riot just laid off half their staff from their new fighting game, like just a few weeks after release. Did
Oh.
you hear? It's kind of crazy. Their new game, 2x KO or double KO. I don't remember how they wanted you to say it. But it just launched. I think at the end of January, after having like a beta in
Hmm.
October, and they're gutting support already. Uh, I guess this early in, it's only been like 2, 3 weeks. Why is that?
Is the game not popular?
That's what they're trying to like say is the issue specifically, but I think it's a little more complex than that. Than just, oh, our numbers weren't exactly, you know, where we wanted them. Um,
Hmm.
I that's the main attributing reason, but I think the reasons why that's the case, from what they're saying, is more complex. Um, So, according to PC Gamer here, from a quote from Riot, they're saying as we expanded from PC to console, we saw consistent trends in how players were engaging with 2XKO. The game resonated with the passionate core audience, but the overall momentum hasn't reached the level needed to support a team of this size long term. So they cut about 80 people from the staff, which is about half, I think a little over half the staff who were working on 2XKO. Um, Most of which were this studio, what's their name? Radiant Entertainment. Excuse me. They were acquired in 2016, I think, by Riot Games. They were working on a different fighting game called Rising Thunder. And that fighting game was like a beginner's fighting game. This is the thing to get you into the genre. One button specials, but it also still has the motion input special moves. It's easy for anybody to jump into. There's two different styles of gameplay for you to choose between, and I think like 2 or 3 characters or something like that. It was a proof of concept of how we could simplify fighting games to make them more approachable for everybody. Really cool idea. Um, and so that's kind of the origin of where 2XKO came from, right? Is this staff of, I want to say what is now 80 or so people was 160 or so. Um, and with that, it's kind of unfortunate to see that Rising Thunder's staff has basically just been cut essentially, or what was Rising Thunder's staff has basically been cut. Um, on 2XKO, considering this game is actually really good. Like, this is a
Oh,
really good fighting game. um, they said that they're going to be like refocusing, like what they're planning on doing as far as like their grand scheme. But I think their grand scheme essentially is Riot is going to be like focusing less on like some of their smaller projects, and I guess they consider this one of their smaller projects, which is kind of weird. But dude, this game's been in.
okay. So
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
tell me about 2XKO. What is it?
Um, 2XKO is a fighting game. It's a tag team fighting game, with some really unique mechanics for per whatever. Um, I'm not describing it very well. Essentially, it's a 2v2 fighter, and the main uh, I want to say the main idea behind it is that you and another person can play 2v2. You and another player are controlling one character each, and you're tagging between each other, playing against other people who are
Oh,
doing the
okay.
same, right? You don't have to play it like that, but you can. Um, and that's a really cool idea. The idea of a tag team fighter where people are controlling different parts of the team is really dope. It's literally tag in, tag out from like a wrestling
Yeah.
type deal, right? But it also
Hmm.
has some really solid fighting game mechanics. The fuse system is kind of interesting, where at the beginning of the match you're picking your characters, but then you're picking your fuse, which changes up certain aspects of your team's game plan. Um, Like, oh, this one will let you do two supers at the same time, kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom, or this one you can tag out multiple times mid combo, or this one will let you do this, stuff like that. Kind of switches up the gameplay and makes, different character combinations more versatile, because now you can also change what their game plan is.
Yeah.
Um, it doesn't have motion inputs, so there's no quarter circle forward. There's none of that. Very much similar to like Rising Thunder, the game that it's kind of, I want to say, based on. That's the soul of. But
Mm-hmm.
it is still kind of a complex fighter. A tag team fighter is, I want to say, kind of more niche than like Street Fighter, Tekken, any of
Right.
those. Um, which is kind of where I'm getting to, is why is this kind of hitting its end of support so soon? Uh,
Yeah, I don't
there's
know.
kind
I'm
of a
looking at
number
it. It
of
says
reasons.
on the website, it says it's free to play.
Yeah, that's one of the
And then
reasons.
like one of the characters looks very familiar, like the blue-haired lady.
Yeah, it's all League of Legends characters. Um,
Oh,
so like if you're familiar with Arcane or you've played any of the League of Legends games, I get League of Legends games. I guess if you've played a League of Legends, uh, you're familiar with some of the characters that are in here. Um,
oh, okay.
Part of the problem is League of Legends has like more than 100 characters for you to choose between. And this game only launched with 10.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a fan of X character uh, more often than not, your character is not in this game. And so therefore, why would I try it? Um, I think that's a really bad thing for that size roster for something like this so early on. You're paying I
Uh-huh.
think, what is it, like $10 a character too, because some of them are locked at launch.
$10.
Um I
So it's
believe
not
that's the
free.
price off the top of my head. No, you're paying for the characters themselves. And then there are skins on top of them that go upwards, I think, of like 20 to $30 between the skins that rotate out
Ooh,
at random on their shop.
that's
The monetization has been one
man.
of their biggest points.
You remember when people got upset about $1 horse armar? What the heck?
Hmm. Yeah, we've gone way
How
off
did
the
we fall
handle
so
here,
far?
especially in a fighting game. I mean, this is not abnormal for Riot, though. I mean, they were Valorant has like weapon skins that are like $100 or more. It is crazy. Um,
Yeah.
but for a fighting game, a genre where historically people are very picky about their pricing point for the characters and the skins and the bonuses that you give them, or you have them pay for, having them pay like $30 for some skins just seems kind of outrageous. It's crazy. So the
Yeah.
monetization is a big
Like,
thing.
does Street Fighter do the same thing?
Street Fighter, I think right now, how they done it in the past was, you'd pay for a pack that would have a couple of skins in it. Street Fighter 4, they weren't that much. I think you were paying like a
Oh, so
couple
you wouldn't be
dollars.
buying one skin.
Yeah, you would pay, I think, what was it, like $5, $6, $7, and you would get a pack that had a bunch of bunch of skins for different characters. You get one for, you know, El Fuerte
Mm-hmm.
and Ryu and Evil Ryu or something like that, right? And then Street
Yeah.
Fighter 5, they started doing uh individual skins and along with those skin packs. And I think now, yeah, you're just paying for the skins themselves or getting them in a pack just so you can choose the ones that you want. But they're not priced nearly as bad as this.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
Okay, so I'm looking at some of the skins here. Oh, they're pretty cool looking, I guess.
They're cool. I won't deny
Yeah.
it. But it's just
Yeah. All right.
it, some of the pricing is crazy, man. I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it. On top of like a
Okay,
small
so let's get
roster.
back on top. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Why is it doing bad?
Why is it doing bad? Well,
Yeah.
Riot, I think, is going in with the expectation that this was going to sell like Valorant, which was another free to play game that is kind of in the same vein as some other popular game. While this is supposed to be, a tag team fighter like uh, Marvel vs. Capcom or Blaze Blue Cross Tag, Valorant is, a Counter Strike clone essentially. Um, and that game
Mhm.
historically has sold skins and passes and all these other things along with it because the people who are playing those games are able to. I think there's just more of an interest in general for people to show off what they have versus in fighting games. And historically, fighting game players have not really been interested in that so much. These are the type of people to
Mhm.
be sitting in training rooms to, uh, you know, get the frame data of something perfect, so they can win a situation, or they're just playing matches on end for hours and hours and hours to understand a matchup. They're not looking at it from a perspective of how can I look the coolest online, period. Maybe in Tekken. But again, these are the people who are going to tournaments with the expectations of, well, we're just going to be using the default costumes, right? Like I show up at a tournament setup, I'm just assuming that they've got the pre-made costumes, whatever.
Yeah.
They're not worried about that kind of stuff. So they're not
Okay.
getting the numbers that they want to, despite the fact that this is I think of as of last week or the week before, it was the number 3 game on PSN for a second.
Oh,
Um, but
so people are playing it.
people are playing it. It has a scene, but
It looks cool.
it's a cool
Hopefully,
game.
it's not as toxic as League, but
I don't think so. It's a fighting game, so it's probably as toxic as any other fighting game on the market, but that's
okay.
more dependent
Okay.
on the individual than anything else.
Right.
Um, I just don't think that this game is like. I think Riot's expectations for this game is way surpassing what it realistically was going to hit, which is fighting games generally don't do crazy numbers like Valorant or Counter Strike or anything or a shooter, right? Um,
Yeah, like fighting games are not as popular as they used to be either.
they've had their renaissance and they have their scene and they have the people who are in them in those scenes, but realistically the core audience of fighting game players are the ones who are just sticking to that. They're the ones inside that bubble. And as we've seen from other games, where if you try to rip somebody away from their core game that they like, they'll try it out, but realistically, they go back to the thing that they always like. Um,
Hmm.
and while everyone's trying out 2XKO right now because it is the hot game for the moment, the support for it is only going to last this year. After this year, they're going to reevaluate things and say, well, who knows where it's going to be. So I think we basically have another year of 2XKO. They're going to reevaluate things and say, well, or see where things are at, I guess, at that point, see if the player base is still there or if it's dwindled even further. Um, it's a great game, but there's just so many things that Riot, I think, was expecting from it compared to like any of their other games. Like Legends of Runeterra
Yeah.
um, was another one that was doing really well. It was a Hearthstone ripoff. Um, and that was doing really well. It got I think a couple years of support. It's the player numbers started dwindling, and then they put it on maintenance mode, quote unquote. Um, and it's still around. You can still play it, but realistically, it's not getting the same support. But their other games
Hmm.
do. So I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, it kind of seems like they're going for the live service model, and like that model isn't doing well. Because
Yeah,
everyone has their live service game that they like and that they're already invested in, and you can't the game, the market's already saturated,
yeah.
with like 3 games or whatever it is. So you coming
There's
in
like
with a new live service game, and it's not going to
yeah.
do as well as something else.
in a genre that just doesn't really like those types of models to begin with, you know. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate because 2XKO is a fantastic fighting game. It is a good fighting game. It's got some balanced stuff that could be worked on. I'm not gonna lie, but at the end of the day, it is a fun fighting game. Um,
Hmm.
you know what I think a problem is too is they wanted to get the League of Legends players to jump into the fighting game, right? In the same way they got like League of Legends players to try Team Fight Tactics and Legends of Runeterra, their other games. Um, but this game is not simple enough for League of Legends players to just jump in and be taught all of its mechanics and have those stick. Not to say anything bad about League of
Hmm.
Legends players, but it's more so like fighting games are just a hard genre to get into, period, without
Yeah,
dedication.
there's a lot of memorization and like doing the combos and
Yeah.
can be tricky.
It's like
But I mean, didn't you say they like try to make the combos easy, but one button combos or whatever, right?
they were trying to do it's no motion inputs and there are some easy combos for you to be able to do. And I think there is a fuse that does make things easier as well. But realistically, you're playing against somebody online and they're which is an online only game for the most part, right?
Hmm.
Um, so like you're playing against somebody online and they're doing some crazy ass combo on you, and you're like, how do I do that? There's no
Right.
there's no point from here being a beginner to there. There's no stepping stone to that, essentially.
Do they have like different leagues and like I'm in bronze or whatever?
Oh, for sure. But
Oh, okay.
the thing with most fighting game ranks is generally the beginner players are always at the lowest level, and then the next
Hmm.
up is just so insurmountable, and it kind of keeps getting more
Oh.
insurmountable. That's kind of
Hmm.
my take on it, really. I think there's just a number of reasons why this game isn't doing the numbers that they want it to do, uh, and it's just a cascade of all of them at once, really.
Yeah. Well,
It's
that just
unfortunate though.
goes to kind of highlight that like why game devs need to be unionized also. So you don't just get laid off because the game you were working on that was supposed to last you like a whole year or whatever.
Yeah, they're just out.
Yeah.
It sucks,
Yeah.
especially
It's
because
out of
this
work right
game,
now.
by the way, was in development for like it was in development for like 10 years, man. It's crazy. I
They saw
think,
Fortnite and they were like, "Let's, oh, that's genius. Let's make that into a fighting game." And then it took them 10 years and this market is saturated. And they're like, "Oh, what do I do
yeah,
now?"
like if this game had come out before Street Fighter 6, I think it would have had a chance genuinely because like Street Fighter 5 and Tekken, had problems with its, net code and online play for like a
Hmm.
while. Street Fighter 5 was a nightmare. I know that for the longest time. And if this had come out
Yeah.
before Street Fighter 6, which perfected pretty much everything netcode wise, online infrastructure, lobbies, it did everything perfectly. If it had come
Hmm.
out before that, it would have stood more of a chance, I believe.
Hmm.
But here we
Yeah.
are.
Well, what does it have going for it? I mean, it has like the heroes that you know already.
Yeah. If you
It's a
like
good fighting system. It's unique.
Mhm. Yeah, if you like League of Legends, if you like tag team fighters, if you like flashy combat, this is kind of the thing for you. Uh, it has like a good bit of depth, with just with all of its mechanics and the fuse system, and um, the characters are really interesting. They all have a lot of unique mechanics just for each character that kind of take from their stuff in League of Legends. And
Hmm.
I think that is the best thing it has going for it, really. Is there is some unique sauce. This game has sauce.
Yeah. So,
But
but like if it's just me playing online, and I don't have a friend to play with, will it just randomly put me with a teammate?
no, I don't know if there's a option for you to just randomly queue with somebody. I think you have to queue with like a friend.
Oh.
But you know what
Oh,
really
okay.
upsets me on this is there's no way for you and a buddy sitting next to you to queue up online against people. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because like I would love for me and my roommate to him sitting on the couch next to me, let's queue up online and I tag out, he tags in essentially as the second character. That would be awesome. This game does not have that.
Yeah. No
Frustrating.
couch co-op.
Nope. So that's a big detractor for me personally. I don't know if it is for most people, but you know,
Yeah.
it's something.
Well, hopefully all those developers land on their feet and get a new job somewhere soon.
I hope so.
Sucks.